Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lolua Deborah. I'm a content creator based in Ondo State, Nigeria. I'm really excited to have you here. Welcome to my channel. I film about my faith, family. I really don't know, but then godly content, you would find me there. Today, I'm talking about a topic that is really dear to my heart. I know I have been saying that over each and every video. And it's basically because I am passionate about the topics I talk about. On today's episode, I am going to be talking about retraining yourself. So without further ado, please let's get right into this video. It was from Lauren Sawyer that I first heard the fact that your parents train you for themselves. They train you the best way that they see the world, what they saw fit for the world. However, as you start growing up, you need to retrain yourself in a fit way for the society. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a few things that we need to retrain ourselves about. Before we go into the video in full, there's this scripture in Proverbs that talks about train up a child in the way he should grow, and when he grows, he will not depart from it. What if you've been trained the wrong way? You need to retrain yourself today. So let's talk about a few things you need to retrain yourself about. Number one, in terms of retraining yourself, one of the things that I found pivotal over the years is that there are times that you are right, but you shouldn't stand on that right. Like, let me explain. There are a lot of things you should be able to let go of because there are battles that even when you win them, you lose them. I have found out over the years that you need to allow love rule over certain rights. There are certain rights you should not stand on. There are certain rights that as you grow, you should not stand on it. There are times that people will do certain things and you have the power. There's this Yoruba adage that talks about one of the displays of power is in not flexing it fully. Imagine if God decides to flex his full power on us, we would be crushed. So there are just certain places where you should not stand on your right. There are things that it belongs to you, you deserve it, you are standing on the right, but then you should learn to extend love to your neighbor and allow them enjoy certain things. If you look at it, those things will not kill you. It won't kill you. Another thing that you need to retrain yourself about is living with people. When I moved to NCCF family house last year, on Saturdays food gets ready late, and I remember that we had this chef at home that usually makes snacks and all of that. So I bought a donut, and this lady I saw her hand moving to collect it from me. I just drew back that, what's wrong with you? Like, kilo share. Another one, I bought another one, and I think another person had taken a bite, and I was like, sorry, is this how people do here? What's going on here? And why you don't just go outside to do that? However, there are certain settings where you should be free. You're a family. This life is not hard. All the things I'm really learning to do right now is to live in love with people and not stand on my rights. This point intertwines with another point that I have about not standing on your rights. See, there are times you need to learn to live with family. You shouldn't take everything too seriously. You shouldn't make everything too formal. So another way you need to retrain yourself is in learning to live with people. Quite a lot of people don't know how to live with people. They don't know how to tolerate people. And see, I used to be the chairman of this living with people because growing up, I grew up as the last born, literally, and I had my own room to myself, my own bathroom. I literally grew up like an only child. When I went out of my father's house and lived outside, I kept getting tensed because I expected that everybody lived on their own and minded their business. But I got outside and people were not minding their business. And I kept wondering that, sorry, like, do you see me touching your property? Why are you touching my property? When I was in uni, I had this issue. I had this thing of, if I placed my property somewhere, once I come back, without looking for it, just scanning my eyes around, I know what is missing. And every single time I kept coming back and something was always missing. I was getting frustrated. The frustration was premium. I remember one time I traveled, came back, and my bag was missing. I asked around, they said it has been missing for a while. Missing for a while, care. Missing for a while, care. Ah, I waited patiently for the person that I thought took the bag. After a couple of days, the person came back and I saw my bag with the person. The person that brought it back left it on the floor. Ah, yay! like, you took my bag, you didn't even tell me that, oh, I want to carry your bag. Oh. Even if it was an emergency, by the time you got to your destination, you ought to call and say, oh, hello, Lulu, sorry, I needed a bag. I saw your bag, I carried it. You carried the bag all this while that I was traveled. I came back, I still did not see the bag. And you brought it back, you placed it on the floor. And see, so that if you will not think I'm crazy, the floor was, you know, all these floors, it was not tiled, it did not have carpet. It was all these floors that their flooring was removing. You had to spray water to reduce the dust. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I was, my heart was, I had to leave the room that day to just go and collect fresh air, because I was just like, what's this? What's this? When someone is not trying to offend anybody, they are offending you. What's this? And see, House of Sharon really showed me that. Like, it really showed me that my dear, your property belongs to everybody. And why a lot of people will not see the view with it, I am glad that happened to me, because it helped me not to live formally. I lived formally all my life. I lived with let's respect each other, basically. So, House of Sharon, NCCF family house in Benin City really taught me that you need to learn to live in love with people. You need to learn to tolerate people, because even as you are tolerating people, they are tolerating you. All of that thing. I was mentioning an instance earlier. There was a particular example when I got into the house. I was really hungry. I bought a donut. There was this lady that, obviously, now that I think back, we've had a few passing conversations and all of that. So, a particular Saturday, I bought a donut and she extended her hand for the donut to eat it. And I was like, sorry, like, what's going on? Like, kilo shele, like, hello. I bought another donut and another lady bit part of it. I just gave her, say, take, you are hungry, take. But really, House of Sharon, living with a lot of people from different environments, really did quite a lot to, like, enlighten me. It really did a lot to enlighten me on how to live with others. There are people that I had clashes with, that I had to tell them that, see, this is not your house. If all of us decide to behave as if this is our house, we would not be able to achieve our joint goal. We will frustrate each other. So you need to learn to live with people. I have a lot of stories on frustrations of living with people, but it's not for today, it's for other days. Another point in terms of retraining yourself is that you need to establish life skills. In this particular point, I'm going to be talking to almost directly to the guys, but ladies, come along. You need to learn how to cook. You need to learn how to clean up after yourself. You need to learn how to wake up early for your job. You need to learn how to live as a normal human being. Especially with guys, a lot of guys don't know how to cook. Even ladies, how are you going to survive? Are you going to survive on takeout every time? How many takeouts do you want to keep eating if you are trying to build your future? It's not sustainable. You need to learn how to cook. You need to learn how to clean your environment. You need to learn to be responsible. Start taking responsibility now. Even while you are at your parents' house, there are certain responsibilities that you need to take up. A lot of youth, the reason why your parents cannot allow you to get married is because you have not shown them that you are responsible enough to go out there. Can they trust that, oh, this child that is out there, as she's going to husband's house, as he's getting married, do we trust him enough to be able to lead his family? Do we trust her enough to be able to take care of their family? There's no parent that wants to come and receive insults that, you did not train your child properly. So you need to build life skills. You need to build them. If you have a friend that knows how to cook, stick with your friend. Tell your friend, please teach me how to cook. I don't know how to cook this, I don't know how to cook that, please teach me. As an adult, one of the things you need to learn is to humble yourself and not to feel shame, because the truth is that you can't know everything. And there are people that, even though they are younger, they would know things that you are expected to know. As an adult, one of the things you need to learn how to do is to humble yourself. Humble yourself enough to ask for help. There's something Pastor Mildred used to say a lot. She used to say, I don't got nothing, I've got nothing. Every time you say, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, you don't got it. Ask someone for help. Ask your friend to teach you how to cook that jollof rice recipe. Ask your friend, tell your friend, sorry, Cassandra, I don't know how to cook eba without it having lumps. Please teach me. There is no shame in it, because as long as you refuse to ask for directions, you will keep getting lost. Finally, on the things you need to know about retraining yourself is that you need to retrain yourself from negative patterns. There are a lot of things that we call causes that we don't realize that causes are offshoots of patterns. There are patterns that you have carried, there are mentalities, there are superstitions that you have carried as a child, and now that you're an adult, you need to grow up from it. One of the questions that I had for the Lord was that about how, as a child, we were affected by quite a lot of things, and it felt as if He was not present to deal with it with us. But then I learned that one of the reasons why being a child and being immature leaves you susceptible is because you don't have knowledge. My people are destroyed because they lack knowledge. By the time you gain knowledge, you would learn how to deal with situations. Have you realized that those situations you dealt with as a teenager, you've grown up knowing how to handle them? Now, as an adult, you know that there are certain friendships you will not put yourself into because you would realize that, oh, you were insecure. That was why you were looking for the validation of those friendships. So now that you're an adult, there are patterns you need to get rid of. There are patterns you need to get rid of. And in getting rid of patterns, the first place I would ask you to go to is to the scriptures. By the time you start reading the Bible, by the time you start studying the Bible, there are a lot of mentalities that will change. There are a lot of mindsets that will change. By the time you start reading the scriptures, one of the pivotal things for your adulting that you would learn is that you are not in this adulting alone. You would learn to understand that the Lord is with you every time. You would learn to hear God's voice. The truth is that quite a lot of people, as you get older and come into understanding, you will come into the place where your relationship with God is not because of some childish things. You realize that you need God. Because as you get older, you realize that you need God in this thing. As you read the scriptures, you would learn that Jesus is not just the ticket to heaven, but is the wisdom for living. You would learn to live your days right. You will learn to number your days and live it right. You will learn to live in purpose. You will learn how to treat your neighbor well. In fact, if you focus on the scripture, trust me, a lot of negative mindsets and patterns you have will be adjusted. Growing up now, one of the things that you should also consider, probably if you can afford it, is therapy. There are a lot of issues that we have. Just being a Nigerian, for example, there are a lot of issues that you need to sort out. See, Nigerians should attend therapy, in my opinion. We need to attend therapy because we have been through a lot as a nation, and as a people, we have been through a whole lot. Attend therapy, learn how to handle situations, learn how to respond to situations, learn about the hurt that you have been experiencing, speak your heart out and unload your baggages. There are just quite a lot of things that you do in therapy. Have people that you're accountable with. If there are things you're dealing with or new habits you're trying to form, have someone that you're accountable with. Have a career mentor, have a relationship mentor, have a anything you want to do mentor. Have someone that would guide you in the way of what you are doing. With these few points of mine, I hope you've been able to learn about some things you should retrain yourself in. Please don't forget to like this video, share and subscribe. Have a wonderful time. Bye. You know what my script calls for? It calls for recording videos about 9:30, 10. Because once you decide that, oh, let the song come out so that I can shoot my video properly, you just get frustrated. But then I continue. I would continue. I will stay resilient. I will stay here even when Nigeria is trying to frustrate my content creation. I will stay here because when the going gets tough, the tough gets going.